Welcome to the Cura 3.2 update. In this update, I'll show you everything that's new to Cura 3.2 in comparison to 3.1. The first thing that you'll notice is that when loading Cura, it goes way faster than before. We've increased the loading speed by around 15 seconds, and that is because all the definitions that are loaded into Cura, that means the Ultimaker 3D printers, but also third-party 3D printers, will now be loaded when you actually add them to Cura. So right now, when I'll start Cura, you'll notice that it takes less time than before. The second improvement is the pop-up notification at the bottom of the screen when starting Cura for the first time. We can now either click the Allow or Disable button, and the Disable button brings you to the Preferences, in which you can immediately turn off the data collection. Remember, this is anonymous and none of your personal information will ever be shared, so we intend to keep it on as much as possible so that we can improve the Cura experience. The sidebar right here has been updated, especially in the custom mode. We can see this. The main change is under the hood, but when we have a drop-down menu like with the support, we can actually change the theme and how the drop-down menu looks. And this is now possible because the sidebar has been updated to Qt Quick 2.0. In addition, the sidebar is now also collapsible. When we go to View, we can expand or collapse the sidebar, or we can hit Command E and then Windows Control E to get the same effect. The sidebar will completely disappear and we will end up with this nice full screen view, and especially when going into the layer view to examine your printing strategy, this can be extremely useful to make sure that your screen is big enough to show all the glorious lines. Again, I can hit Command E to bring back the side view, and that's it. The plugin store keeps expanding. When we go to Plugins, Browse Plugins, we can see that there are already a lot of plugins available for Cura. New to version 3.2 is the Octoprint plugin. This plugin enables a full Octoprint control right from the Cura 3.2 interface. The algorithm of arrange all models has been improved. When arranging all models, small ones in particular, it would sometimes fail in Cura. So let me just open a model right now, and we are going to scale it down to 30%. And to ensure I have multiple, I'm going to multiply this model by the number of 20. And as we can see, the models are now automatically arranged on the build plate without any issues. This was especially going wrong when the option Keep Models Apart has been enabled. As we can see, the models are not automatically kept apart by Cura, but still, when we would arrange all models right now, we can see that the models get properly arranged around the build plate, which is extremely convenient. In Cura 3.1, we've introduced new view modes. So we have a few new view modes at the top here. The isometric view, front view, top view, and left and right. Now, when using these views, the view would align to the right position. So right would be right, left would be left, and the top properly from the top. The front view wouldn't actually view the models from the front, but it will right now. And the camera will actually be leveled with the build plate, as we'd expect. The isometric view is now also isometric, as we would expect. So the views were both not correctly aligned and are now aligned to optimize the new view icons. The mirror tool and center model option would result in an issue in which the transformation, in this case the mirror, would reset. We fixed this issue, so to show you, I'll move this model slightly to the left. And when we now use the mirror tool and reset the model's position, so we're going to center it And as we can see, the model is still mirrored. So in Cura 3.1 and before, the model would actually flip the other way around. So this is now fixed. Unfortunately, in the latest version of Cura, the Arduino drivers that were delivered with Cura were outdated. This led to a series of problems. First of all, when you had an Ultimaker original and you would try to upgrade the firmware, then the firmware upgrade wouldn't actually succeed properly. So right now, when you have an original, upgrade to Cura 3.2 and upgrade your firmware straight from the menu without any problems. The second thing was, especially in high schools, when one would try to install Cura as an over-the-air update to multiple computers, the install script would actually crash on the outdated Arduino drivers. So in this case as well, with Cura 3.2, you will be able to update Cura without any further issues. This version of Cura is signed for Windows. That means when you install the application, it will state that this application is developed by Ultimaker instead of an unknown developer. This should also prevent virus scanners from identifying Ultimaker Cura as a virus. There was an issue when loading Cura from a network drive or remote drive. This mostly happened in schools since you'll have a central login system, and when inputting your credentials you'll load 100 MBs or something from a remote drive somewhere in the building. When this happened, Cura would search for a path that it didn't know how to get to, like in the example right here. This has now been fixed, and from Cura 3.2 you will have no problem loading your user config from a remote server. The layer view has been updated in a way that now all the back faces of the lines are actually not rendered. That means that rendering can go up to twice the speed that we had, meaning 2 times the frames per second, and that just really increases the speed of Cura while in the layer view. We can just easily scroll up and down even though we have loaded over 700 layers without any problems. Also, the rest of the interface, like the sidebar, are still super smooth and easy to adjust without any further issues. A new way to support your model in Cura 3.2 is tree supports. Tree supports is an alternative way in printing supports beneath your model, which is especially useful when printing organic shapes. This dragon or any four-legged animal is a good example of a model that is really hard to print support beneath, especially beneath these 2 wings. So I've enabled tree support, and I've already sliced this model to show you how it looks. I'm going to enable the show helpers, which is also supports, and we see that the tree support is generated beneath the model. It starts out as white layers, like the trunk of a tree, and when it grows towards the model, it gets thinner and smaller. To show you how it looks without the model, I'm going to disable shell and infill, and we can see how the tree structure supports the wings right there. To actually show this feature, you should head to support, go into the settings, and the easiest way to find this is just to filter on tree. All the tree supports will be visible, check all, and close the window. Now at the support section, the tree support parameters are all visible. We can fine-tune the tree support by changing the branch angle, distance, diameter angle, and also the collision resolution and wall thickness. Learn more about these by reading the tooltips. A small note: when slicing with tree support enabled, slice time increases significantly. Another new engine feature in Cura 3.2 is adaptive layers. This new feature allows your models to be printed with different layer heights, which automatically adapt to the angle of the model. To show this, I've loaded this example model, and within the line type in layer view, we can actually change to a new option, which is called layer thickness. Once we select it, we get a whole different layer visualization, which changes in color between 50 microns and 270 microns. We can see which parts of the model are printed in a high resolution and which in a low resolution. All vertical or almost vertical parts will be printed quickly, while slope areas indicated with blue are printed in high detail so that your model looks great. While the resolution will be increased at the parts that you need, the resolution will be decreased in the parts where you don't need the high resolution. Your model finish will be better, while the print time barely increases. Please note, this feature is still experimental, so we cannot guarantee a proper outcome. And you might see color variation in your model due to how the light reacts to the different layer heights. There's a new feature in Cura 3.2 which is called multi-build plate. This feature allows multiple build plates in Cura to easily slice multiple build plates and send them to a Cura Connect printer. To enable it, go to the Preferences. In the General tab, scroll all the way down and use multi-build plate functionality. A restart is required. After restarting Cura, we see a new part of the interface in the bottom left corner of the screen. Let's load one model. When we load a model, we can see in the bottom left corner that we have it selected on the first build plate, and the little one right here next to the model name indicates that this model is located on the first build plate. Let's multiply this model, hitting Command M, a few times. As we can see now, all the models are actually loaded on this one build plate. By right-clicking a model, or in a model list on the left side, we can send it to a new build plate. A new build plate appears, and when we select the build plate, we can actually see that this one model is loaded on this one build plate. This is very useful for creating multiple build plates with small models, but especially useful when having models that don't fit on the build plate altogether. I'm going to select all of these models and increase the size so that they just don't fit on the build plate anymore. As we can see right now, two models are unprintable, indicated by the light gray lines, and we want them to be able to print. We can hit this one button to arrange to all build plates. Cura will find a location for all these models on multiple build plates, and once done, we can see that build plate 1 and 2 have multiple models loaded on them. Load as many models as you'd like, and just hit Arrange to all build plates to arrange all the models on multiple build plates. Prepare it, and when slicing is done, you can easily send it to one printer and all the build plates will be sent separately. When using this feature, the machine settings, material settings, and print setup are all the same. Meaning if you want to send multiple build plates with different profile settings, you should rather just send the build plates one by one with the traditional method. Also, project saving is not supported at this time. Only the actively selected build plate on the left side of Cura will be saved as a project, so be aware of that. That concludes the Cura 3.2 update. Thanks for watching.